your host, AirsofAL, and, well, this one has been one I've been meaning to do for a while now, and even talking more of, since I've done a video about this before when talking about action cameras. When talking about action cameras, there's always the same question I always get, which one to get, which one to do, but the recent line of questioning I've gotten is, of course, from members of Tupelo Airsoft Club, and I thought I'd do this video for them to kind of help and answer my ability to kind of answer them and kind of help them out as best humanly possible. Now let's go ahead and address the big one. What cameras do I have? For my main filming and anything, of course, I'm using my GoPro, which is currently my GoPro Hero 5 Session, which is right now being what I'm using to film this video on, and that's kind of what I've used to film my videos ever. The other one is for my zoom camera. The footage you usually see whenever I have it zoomed in, I usually have a red dot overlay or something along that lines on it, is this right here, a RunCam 2. However, RunCam has come out with other cameras to where you actually have a better time to remove the lens and actually have a much more better, much more focused lens on the camera nowadays. Now that makes it easier because they're already pre-focused. This one you have to have a focus on, which there are more than tons of videos out there that actually talk about how to focus them. Brain Exploder's done a video talking about the different lens lengths, things like that. This one I have is a 35mm lens on it. So if you want any other, stuff like that, just do a little more research yourself, Google it, things like that. But this is the camera I've used all this time for all my zoom cams, all my shots, everything that you've seen in my gameplay footage, including the distance test, things like that. This is the camera I've used, have been using, and probably will continue to use until I get either new run cams or something along that line. Now, as for a selfie camera, I've been using the Vivitar camera here, which is like 70 bucks. You can get it at Walmart, and the footage from it, sadly, the audio from it, sadly, is not that great. Yeah, the audio from it's not that great, but the footage from it is actually pretty okay, and I actually am kind of glad with how well it's done. It actually is pretty decent footage quality. It's not 4K per se, but it's good. It is good, at least, and it does do the work it needs for a $70 camera, so I am actually pretty happy with the results I actually do have. Really wish it didn't have the big screen back there, but what can you do? Until I start getting a variety of different action cameras in my collection, and I start actually doing a variety of stuff with them, this is kind of what I'm running with, and this is kind of what I got. But we'll get to this in a bit. Now, as to how I mount my cameras, I have several different mounting methods for cameras. One of the most basic ones I have, and ones that actually will come with your action camera, if you decide to buy one, be it a knockoff GoPro or otherwise, is the tried and true vented head strap. The head strap is kind of your basic thing with any sort of camera or any sort of action camera whatsoever, be they side mounted for the tubular style cameras or basically a GoPro knockoff or basic GoPro style action camera setup. You will be able to wear this either bare basic like this, with the ball cap like this, or it reversed bills so that way the camera can come a little closer to your head, or really thinking in between. The head strap is a good, affordable, because you can buy them cheap online, especially Amazon, way to actually have a camera mounting system. Now, I cannot go any further without mentioning, of course, the other mounts, including the hat mount, which either is the Brain Exploder hat mount where the camera actually sits on the bill of the ball cap and actually is leveled with the ball cap, or the one where there is a mount built into the ball cap itself. You will find these everywhere on Amazon, eBay, because they're actually cheap and affordable, and their quality is hit and miss since it comes from China. Obviously, I've talked about that one mount. There are other mounts out there, one of which I know you're probably going to see and sort of talk about, so let me just go ahead and kind of talk about the different mounts. You have the stationary mounts, which are what sits kind of like this in your mount like this, or the ones that will actually slide and click into place, which is where you get this. This is a, I don't want to say a gimbal mount, this is a mount where it's also pretty damn hard to do, but it's able to maneuver and twist and basically allow you to do that however which way you want. This needs to be oiled bad though, but again, it's just how it is. It allows you to twist it, all this other stuff to loosen. Otherwise, it comes with a built-in locking rubber, which allows it to lock the arms into place when they click into a mount that you may have. Now, moving on away from that, let me just go ahead and say that, let's say you have a helmet, or something to protect your noggin from bumps, scrapes, bruises, things like that, or any sort of incoming objects that may damage your head. Be they real, authentic combat helmets with actual Kevlar and bulletproof levels, or your basic Emerson or knockoffs, you probably have an NVG mount. NVG stands for night vision goggles. And the Emerson I have here is a good example of that, and the mount I have on it is another good example of what you have on the market. This is a brain exploder. This is the first brain exploder mount that was ever, like the first generation brain exploder camera mount, where the camera does set directly below it, essentially. Let's go ahead and get a camera on here so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's slide it into place. Kind of like that, where the camera can sit a little bit like that, so it has like a POV level. However, if you want a more lower camera level, where it's more like this, you'd have to get a another mounting arm to put on here, which would be something like this, as you can see. But again, it's just, you know, one of those things. Now, this right here goes into the NVG mount. This one's damaged, sadly, so it does pop out a little bit. However, that has been the big issue with these. There is another one where it's actually more articulate, where it actually comes out, comes down, things like, basically more articulate. However, another one I know a lot of you are going to bring up are, of course, the full metal NVG mounts, and those are viable options and something we will talk about. Full metal NVG mounts are something that I cannot stress enough of. Full metal NVG mounts are something that I can get behind, because as much as I do love the polymer and plastic, which are lightweight and good for you, not exactly going to do well, and will easily break after so much wear and tear, and the freezing cold. And while, yes, some will say, oh, these are nylon reinforced, I'm not taking the chance, which is why most of my camera mounts, or something for my selfie camera mount, is full metal. Like the Fiachi one here, which is the Fiachi M-Lock Picatinny rail camera mount, which we will cover in a little bit. And then, of course, we have the NC Star 3-in-1 mount, which is Keymod, M-Lock, and Picatinny. This is full metal also. But what I want to kind of get into is the full metal attachments that are on the market that you can find on Amazon. You can find full metal mounts that are kind of this style. You can find 360-degree full metal mounts. You can find full metal mounts like this, which are, you know, full metal attachments. There are even full metal camera cases, which will work for sessions, for your regular GoPros, for your other knockoff GoPros, even some, from what I've read, full metal cases for the run cam as well, be they, you know, how it is. Now, again, I'm saying this as someone who is kind of giving you guys options out there, but there are, of course, the full metal NVG mounts, and those that actually do work into the NVG slots of your helmet. And for those of you who don't know what the NVG slot is, let me bring the helmet back up here again. It's this right here. If you want a full metal mount in this, I'd recommend it, because I myself am going to be slowly and surely getting full metal for me, because again, as much as I do love polymer and its lightweightness, and yes, I know ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain, I am not going to take the chance of something happening, and yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that said, though, what I would recommend to you is, even though the polymer is a good option for you guys, I also would tell you to go ahead and start investing a little bit, one piece at a time, or maybe go for the bundle deals of the full metal parts that you can find, especially full metal camera cases, because a lot of those full metal camera cases are a lot better than your basic polymer camera cases, and do come in some stylish colors that, well, I'm definitely going to take a look at for a possible cyberpunk build, because there are some cyberpunk helmets out there, including some full face cyberpunk helmets that I am personally do like. Just saying. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's just go ahead and kind of talk about your first camera, or at least your second camera, because again, one of the many questions I've gotten is, you know, what camera should be gotten first, what camera should be going for first, and what should you be looking at in terms of, you know, improving your camera quality. And if you have the money, I'd recommend you go for all three. You go for your main camera, which will be on your helmet, looking downward and looking out. That's your point of view camera, or your POV camera. Then, of course, you have your run camera, which is your zoom camera. That is your camera that is going to get all the zoom shots. It's going to be attached to the end of the gun, or on the barrel of the gun, which, again, something I'm going to have to talk about with you guys. Because a lot of guns don't have rails. A lot of them are going to be like this, the basic AK style rifle, where it doesn't have any rails whatsoever. But you want something to put your run cam on. Well, the solution I've gotten is this nice little scope mount right here, where it has a little bit of rail where you can attach it to the barrel via friction, and then take a riser, attach it to the rail, and then bada bing bada boom, and you have that right there, which means you can attach your run cam. Let me just expand this out a bit so I can actually show you guys how it looks. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. To where you can attach your run cam like that, your optic, and if you really want to, your Picatinny mount, which will look something, if I can get this on here without disturbing much. There we go. Let's just go ahead and get it on there, like that. And then you have 1, 2, 3 slots right there for your optic. Or if you're not running an optic and you just want to go by, you know, bare of sight, you know, just basic bare of eye, then boom, right there. You have your run cam for your zoom camera, and you have your selfie camera like that. Again, bare bones, basic, cheap solution, because the riser and the single rail, which is right here, which this is attached to, pretty affordable on e-bike. It really is. But again, this is just a sort of example I wanted to kind of show you guys. But again, mounting all these cameras is something that you're going to want to know and sort of ask of, how do I do this? What sort of management should I look at? Well, for one, I'm just going to go ahead and answer this now. When mounting your cameras, you're going to want to look at how much space does your gun have, and how can you mount it properly, and how can you do it without, you know, kind of upsetting the balance of the gun. Let's go ahead and kind of take a look at the smallest, and yes, I said the smallest kind of gun I have in my collection right now, or at least a kit, so I can show you guys kind of what you should look at in terms of sort of space. Because if we go from the smallest, that should give you an idea of the largest. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is the smallest. This is the Umarex Tech kit. And I want to kind of let you look at this right quick, because if we were running the run cam, we'd run it up here at the front, because that's the best option you want to do, is try and get it as close to the front as possible with however much Picatinny you have. When it comes to your selfie cameras, you want to have it either on the bottom rail if you are running, let's say, this type mount right here, which, again, you know, the best thing is that if, in the current configuration I have it able to run on top rails, but if I want to have it in another configuration, I have some threading here to where I can have a another, like, say, this right here, basically be able to screw in like that. Voila. It's a little bit off canted, but you get what I'm saying. Off canted. You get what I'm saying, though. Yeah. Basically, I can unscrew this, put right side up like that, but either way, though, basically have it to where it's like this. If I can get on there. Come on, boy. You can get on there. There we go. Like that, but that leaves you no room for any sort of, like, foregrips or anything like that. Well, that's where the next attachment comes into play. There is another sort of attachment that you can get, and one that already comes with your camera supplies. This would be the bike mount. The simple bike mount for your selfie camera. It already comes with it, and I would tell you don't underestimate, because what you can do is undo the screws here, and you can put it right there at the end of your barrel, to where it just wraps around your barrel. Done. Now, the other thing I want to kind of cover is a Picatinny camera mount, where it attaches directly to the Picatinny like any other Picatinny attachment. There are also Picatinny camera mounts that are actually made by Brain Exploder, which actually comes around the camera, which is like the session I'm filming on, where it can literally be attached to the rail itself, and you have a compact selfie camera. Now, I don't have this mount, mind you, and I don't have the camera that it is made for, but again, it's just one of those things, and something I kind of wanted to bring up to you guys, because again, there's a lot of cool stuff out there that I want you to understand. Another mounting option that you will find a lot of, and even find in your Walmart, is this. This is known as the clamp mount. Now, let's say you want a... Well, we'll talk about that in the future, but the clamp mount is a good option for if you want to clamp it to your hat. Like so. Just, it's a pain in the ass, I'll tell you that right now, but you clamp it to your hat as such. There we go. Boom, right there on the end of the cap, and it is going to be a little bit hard to get off, but it is easy to kind of go all over the place, so you're going to want to make sure that this thing is nice and good. But another option for you, if you really want to kind of have it off to the side, offside, like this, is you can attach it to your helmet as such. However, it is, depending on how thick your helmet is, it's going to be kind of an issue, like you're seeing right now what I'm having. But, again, with that same Picatinny mount that I was telling you about, you could actually have a bit of arc rail here and have it attached to that arc rail, so you have it right off the side of your helmet. Again, there's a lot of options there. But I believe that's about as much as I can give you guys, because as much as I'd love to go a little bit more further in depth into some of these mounts, I'm kind of going to say that. This is just a general overview of what I'm doing in terms of cameras, in terms of talking about this sort of stuff. But if you guys want me to talk about the different mounts and sort of the configurations that you can do for them, or even just different elements of action cameras and sort of how they can be done in general, please let me know in the comment section down below. And again, you know, it's just, you know, one of those things I'm doing this for. It's just, you know, I'm just trying out new series, see what works, see what doesn't. Either way, though, as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsofAL, and if you want to come hang out and talk with me, there's a Discord link down below. If you want to help support me in acquiring action cameras or anything like that, I now have an Amazon account. And if you want to help with that, send Amazon gift cards or, you know, anything of that nature, contact me via my Discord, which you will find me in down below. Or if you are in the Facebook group, the Tupelo Airsoft Club Facebook group, and you have questions like that about actual action cameras to which to look into getting for your first action camera, for a POV shot, or even attaching to your gun as a selfie camera, let me know down below as well. Or, you know, actually getting a run cam, or, you know, anything of that nature. Anyway, I hope this video was somewhat helpful, even though it was probably all over the place for you guys. And again, I'm doing my best with what I got. This is sort of like a new thing I want to try in terms of a video series. So, thank you all so very much for watching. As always, I've been AirsofAL, and if you have any advice or anything of that nature in the comments, you know, just let me know in the comment section down below. Because there are some people out there who actually need help in terms of cameras, their setups, you know, things like that. And that's about it. Yeah, no, that's about it. Either way, though, thank you all so very much for watching. As always, I've been AirsofAL, and I will see all you lovely, lovely people in the next video. Till next time, later.